Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and in this one we're going to be asking the question, what kills the fastest in Minecraft 1.9? Now as you guys know, there have been plenty of combat changes in the latest snapshots, so what I thought I'd do is do some testing to try and work out what will make you the most lethal player in the game when the update finally releases. Now our test subjects are going to be villagers because they have 20 hearts exactly the same as the player, and I think it should be fairly interesting. So let's crack on and I'll show you what I've got for you. So to get things started, we're going to be doing a fairly obvious one. We've got 3 different diamond swords here, a regular one with sharpness 5, and then one with sharpness 5 and fire aspect 2. And we're going to be trying out 3 different methods. First off, we're going to be spamming, then we're going to be letting the sword recharge, and then finally, we're going to be going for critical hits. So that means jumping, then hitting the villager on the way down from the jump. Now the results are as follows. With the regular sword, spamming took 10 seconds to kill off the villager. Spamming has been seriously nerfed in Minecraft 1.9, and I definitely wouldn't suggest using that method. Then letting the sword recharge took 1.7 seconds to kill off the villager using a regular diamond sword, which is considerably faster, but the best method was getting critical hits. It killed off the villager in just 2 hits, and it took just 1.2 seconds. Moving on to the enchanted side of things now, this time I didn't do any spamming because clearly that method doesn't work anymore. But letting the sword recharge, it took 1 second to kill off the villager with 2 punches, and then using critical hits, once again, same story, 2 hits and in 1 second. But I would suggest using critical hits simply because they deal more damage per blow. Now it's the same story with the final sword with sharpness 5 and fire aspect 2, so 2 punches, 1 second, and 2 punches at 1 second. But once again, would suggest using critical hits because they're clearly the best. Moving on from the swords for a little while now, we're going to be taking a look at a few other tools. So we've got the axe, the hoe, the shovel, and the pickaxe. And the verdict is, don't use them, okay? If you don't have a sword, I would suggest using an axe and using critical hits. That seems to deal the most damage. But if you do have a sword, don't go around swinging your pickaxe about because you're not going to be killing anything. They really don't deal much damage. I know in the early snapshots, the hoe caused quite a bit of damage due to the swing speed, but that's now been fixed, and the sword is definitely better. So use that one. Leaving tools behind altogether now, we're going to be taking a look at 2 different environmental methods that you can use to kill the player. First off, we have got TNT, which of course kills the player instantly, but if you take into account the fusing sequence, it takes a full 4 seconds, which is relatively slow. Then of course we have got lava, which takes 2.2 seconds to kill off the player, but unfortunately, it probably will burn all of their items, so that's a bit of a negative on that. Potions are another brilliant way to kill other players in the game. First off, we have got the potion of harming 2, then we have got the potion of poison, so let's see what we can find. With the potion of harming, the first thing that I managed to do was damage myself, then launch myself into the void, which wasn't particularly good, so I ended up building this structure where I could throw all of the potions downwards, and I killed the villager in just 1.1 seconds, but that did use a bunch of potions, which is going to be very expensive, but they were also all direct hits, which if you're not particularly accurate, you're probably not going to be able to do that in the wild, so that's something to consider. With a potion of poison, that really doesn't do things quickly. I threw all of them, obviously it didn't kill off the villager, so I had to hop down and give him a few punches, and it just took a while. So I wouldn't suggest using that if you want to kill something quickly. We're going to briefly move away from potions for now, however, we are going to be looking at an awesome potion towards the end of today's video, but for now we're going to be taking a look at the bow and the arrow. Of course this is a fantastic ranged weapon, but let's see how good they are in close combat. First off, we have an insane bow with the power 5, flame 2, and also infinity, and with regular arrows it took between 1.3 seconds and 2.5 seconds to kill off the villager. Now that's because occasionally it only took 1 shot to kill the villager, occasionally the villager would die from the fire, and sometimes it would take 2 shots to kill them off, but that is the difference. Now using harming arrows, unfortunately there wasn't too much of a change. It still took between 1.3 seconds and 2.3 seconds depending on how many shots it took, which was a little bit disappointing. And finally, onto the last technique of today's video, we have got the strength potion. I took the strength potion, then went back down the line and tried out a few of the things. So I went back over to my mega sword with sharpness 5, fire aspect 2, and I tried things out. Now first off, spamming took 1 second to kill off the villager, which was really quite impressive, so that's something to keep in mind. But non-critical hits also took 1 second, but if you're using critical hits, it's an instant kill. So if you jump up, then hit them on the way down from the jump, it will kill them instantly, dealing 20 hearts of damage at least, which is quite impressive. One thing that I was really interested to see was the fact that the bow is exactly the same as before. Even using harming arrows, it still took between 1.3 seconds and 2.3 seconds. So maybe strength potion isn't particularly useful when you're using a bow and arrow, but that's just the results that I got. So sadly, the conclusion of today's video really is quite boring. I would suggest getting a diamond sword, filling it up to the brim with awesome enchantments, then getting yourself a strength potion, then using critical hits. That really is the important thing to take away from today's video. Everything is improved by critical hits. Even the regular sword took it down to 1.2 seconds to kill off a villager using critical hits. That's seriously very important. However, if you do want alternate methods, of course, if you want a different tool, then I'd suggest using the axe. If you want an environmental method, then I'd suggest using lava. Potion of Harming takes 1.1 seconds to kill off the villager, but it's extremely expensive, and bows don't seem to be affected by the arrows that you use or taking a strength potion, which seems rather strange to me. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.